Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4 Weltkrieg. That's right, we're going to try once again, guys, to play as a nation. Of course, this time in Weltkrieg. Last time we did it in Kaiserreich. This is a part of the Kaiserreich series, but it's actually known as Weltkrieg. So we are playing as China, and there's several reasons I took this. Number one, I wanted to join the Comintern eventually. I wanted to side with the communists. So we're going to go ahead and select the national focus. And once again, the national focus in this game is absolutely awesome. So we're going to side with the opposition here and try to probably side with the communists. We are going to lose a little bit of national spirit. My biggest concern is Manchuria and, of course, Japan. I don't want them causing us problems. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the Germans, that's right, the Germans actually own some territory around China. They actually managed to take some during World War I. Well, an alternative history version of World War I. So we've got to watch out for them. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab some divisions here. 17. I think this is sufficient. Let's take a look here at the army commanders that we can use. So we could use Wang Youwu, or we could use Tai Anyan. I think I'm going to take Tai Anyan and make him the leader of this Army 1. I'll let you guys go ahead and decide what we should call it. But we're going to select all. We're going to take the front line button, and we're going to put them right here on the front line. Let's try that again. We're going to put them here on the front line with Manchuria. I want to make sure that the Manchurians are under surveillance, essentially, and make sure that if they try any moves, especially if they try to join with the enemy Japan, that we're going to be prepared for them. So we'll go ahead and send our boys here, and as you can see, they've already gotten their orders. We can make several more armies, but I'm going to go slow with this. We have insufficient resources, and we definitely need to get some new ones. So right now, in terms exported, produced, that's fine. Surplus, okay, so we're probably going to need to get some oil. I'm going to go to the United States, and I'm going to try to trade for the amount of oil we need. We're going to send a convoy, and hopefully we can wrap that problem up. I'll even go to the Transcaucasian Republic, some really interesting new countries in this game, and we'll actually buy some extra oil just to make sure. So aluminum and rubber are also resources we need. We'll go ahead with the U.S., try and get that trade going, send a request, and rubber, of course. Why the hell not? Let's go to the Dutch East Indies, which incredibly is their own country here. Really love that. Just a lot of interesting things in this mod. And of course, we need to have a plan, guys. We need to have a plan for what we're going to do and how we're going to approach this situation. So obviously, I always love people to put things down below. As you can see, since we're starting with China, we only have 2 research focuses right now. That's going to be tough to get over. I'm going to try to lower the time to research with basic machine tools, but we really do need to start focusing on possibly increasing significantly our abilities here in terms of research. We're basically just almost, in a weird way, coming out of the Dark Ages. So let's continue, of course, playing with China, getting over there on the Manchurian border. I'm looking at other areas that could be a problem. India obviously could be a threat, but in this particular Let's Play, India is independent. They are basically their own country. They don't really have to follow anybody, and the Empire of Indochina has their own monarchy. So Vietnam essentially has their own monarchy. I'm going to go ahead and try to grab another army. Tibet is also looking very ripe for the plundering, so we might take them. But let's just stick to 16 or so divisions. See what we have over here. 20. We'll accept that. I'm going to go ahead and select a new general here. And I am going to take General Tu Yuming. We'll take him, and we'll put him on the border with Indochina. We probably want to go to war. At the same time, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just wait right now, build up our economy, and focus on improving it. And I think you guys could certainly help with that. So that army is also moving into place, hopefully as soon as possible. Wait a minute, are they? Yes, they are. Taking a bit of a different route here. We also have some civilian factories. We definitely want to build them, so I'm going to drop a civilian factory over here in Anhui and in Henan province. Some military factories as well. We definitely need to start increasing. We don't have enough factories to build rifles, so we want to increase that significantly. We want to get some interwar fighters. We want to increase our navy, especially if we end up having to go to war with Japan, but it's going to take a while for our country. At this point, very, very lackluster in terms of its abilities to go ahead and build up to what we want it to be. So I'm going to train some Juntuan. Unfortunately, they're not very powerful right now, but hopefully one day they will be. And we're going to go ahead and drop their location here in the center of the country, where I'm hoping we have some support. Tibet also looks ripe for the plundering, but basically I want to expand China as much as possible. And right now, I'm thinking that the Manchurians are probably not friends with the Japanese in this particular scenario. At least I don't see them in the Japanese faction. One thing that would be interesting is once we go communist, we can start trying to stage coups in some of these countries. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and increase the speed just a little bit, just to get things rolling, as it were. Unassigned divisions, we know, we'll assign them pretty soon, but right now I just want to get those armies on the border, start preparing them for a possible war, and obviously we want to start trying to move towards red socialism. It's that simple. I think it's going to be the most effective in terms of power for us. Fascism would be another choice, but I think we'll stick with Soviet-style socialism, or actually, I should say, Mao-style socialism, and hopefully we actually get Mao Zedong as a leader. That would be really cool. Not sure if that's how it works, but we'll soon find out. We could also get an admiral here. Let's see. We guess we might have to get a new commander, and we'll make it Hu Kui. Doesn't have a lot of skill, and obviously our Navy is very, very much in the Dark Ages, but we're going to try to improve that Navy. And we also have an army here of 13 divisions. Not a very strong army, but it's an army nonetheless. I'm going to go ahead and assign our General Wang Yaowu to front it, to lead it, I should say. Xinjiang also looks ripe for the plundering, but right now I think our biggest threat, or our biggest asset to conquest, is going to be Tibet. So we're going to move into Tibet almost instantly and get on the front lines there. Also, while we're building as much as we can. I'm also going to click About the Mod. For those of you that don't know about the Weltkrieg Rise of the Kaiserreich, you can pause here and you can try and read the mod, obviously, and sort of get an idea of what it's about. And of course, there's a new build, a new structure built for China, and that we can obviously see that when we go to the focus tree. The focus tree is very different than it was before. So after we start siding with the communists, we need to start working on industry, on improving the nation's economy, etc. That's going to be very, very important. So I want to make sure that we don't forget about that. As far as I can tell, we've got a few fighters, a few tactical bombers, but overall, it's not really a major focus of ours, and we do need to change that. Unfortunately, that's going to take some time. So right now, I'm focused on getting those rifles for our men, as you can see, used for reinforcement. So I'm going to try to build as many factories as possible to make sure that our men, instead of swords, are carrying rifles into battle. I think that's going to be very, very important here, especially if we end up going to war with one of these places. So let's move on in. The Xinjiang people, they may already be communists. In fact, they are. Sheng Shikai. So I'm going to try to improve relations here. It's going to cost us 10 in terms of political power, but I want to make sure they don't become enemies. I want them to be our friends, and I want to try and have them side with us as soon as possible. Also, a lot of people complain about the day-night cycle, so I'm going to go here and see if I can turn that off. Weather, reflections, shadows, blah, 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 blah. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe you guys can let me know what I'm missing. But yeah, we want to get rid of maybe reflections. I'm not sure. Eventually, we'll get rid of this annoying sort of day-night cycle. Personally, I don't mind it, but I know a lot of people are not fans of it. So I'd love to go ahead and just destroy it so we don't have to focus on it anymore. And we're going to continue forward into infamy, or maybe into glory. Who knows? Who knows how this is going to happen? Right now, of course, though, we've got to keep recruiting and deploying men as soon as possible. We can already deploy some men instantly. They're not going to be as well trained, though. And I'm going to go ahead and get some Kuibingjun, basically some cavalry units. And we really want to build a new army with the Kuibingjun cavalry. Put them in Shaanxi province. Try and raise the national morale of China. Try and maybe get a few more units on the field, of course. Okay, so the resource used for infantry equipment is mostly steel. We want to obviously get as much steel as possible, but right now my focus is to keep that manpower up and maybe even move towards communism within our government. So we do have a communist revolutionary, but we're going to need 150 to move that way. Right now we can see that the CPC, the Chinese Communist Party, led by Mao Zedong, surely enough, is 17% of the actual electorate, essentially. So we need to keep that in mind. That's certainly not enough to get them in power. We're going to have to do a little bit of wrangling here and there to make sure that they do get into power. And by the way, if you approve of this series and you enjoy it, then please make sure to hit that like button. So it looks like Paris is questioning the Treaty of Nuremberg. The Nuremberg is essentially the Weltkrieg or Kaiserreich version of the Treaty of Versailles. In this case, the Germans won, so the French were the ones that had to give up concessions. So we're going to support the communists. As you can see here, 70 days to support the communists, but we really want to start moving in that direction and get the Chinese People's Republic going as soon as possible. I'm definitely concerned about India and their possible leanings towards a war, so I'm hoping that they don't do that, of course, but I hope that we're continuing to improve relations with Xinjiang, so let's make sure that that's the case. We want to make sure these guys are our friends. It's really that simple. And yes, we know we have unassigned divisions, but we're not too concerned about it right now. Eventually, though, we are going to have to go to war with one of these guys to be able to cement our rule as the true and strong Chinese empire. So let's keep on moving. And Mongolia is also looking pretty good, but I think Mongolia is in the Soviet realm. They are communists. So that's another reason I think going communist would keep us safe from the north at least. It might not. Remember, just because our ideology is the same does not mean that our national goals are the same. They might be interested in taking this land for their own. And especially at this time in history, even with the Weltkrieg and with Kaiserreich, China is not very powerful. We've got a lot of manpower, but we're a very, unfortunately, I have to say this, we're a very underdeveloped nation, and even our research time takes a significant amount of time, really, to get anything important going. So we want to be very careful with that, and we want to make sure that we research everything we can to improve this, and hopefully become a more modernized nation with the interjection of communism. And here we go, yes. This Qingzhou is owned by the Germans. I don't want to go to war with the Germans. So I would like to improve relations with them as much as I can. 18 years peace. May a war like this never happen again. Of course, 18 years ago, the end of World War I. I am going to try and I actually would like to boost our party popularity once we go communist. Right now, there's nothing we can do. They own Qingdao, and we're not going to mess with them. We have no interest in going into a war with Germany. They are the victors of the original war, and that could cause us some serious problems. So we get communist militia, grants national spirit of communist militia, which grants affects our partisans plus 20% daily communism support plus 0.10, and even increases our army experience by 20. So we definitely want to go for the communist militia, but at the same time, I want to start looking at the other possibilities for improving our economy, etc., and making sure that we come out on top as one of the strongest nations in the world. Let's go ahead and hit play there. So don't forget, guys, if you like this series and if you want to see more, you got to smash that like button, you got to share. Everything helps, of course. We finally got basic machine tools, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And for our government leader, I'm going to get that communist revolutionary, the communist politician. He's got no name, he's just the communist politician. While workers rise up against their oppressors around the world, those who claim to have achieved class consciousness in the Chinese empire sit idly by and wait for change to come from within a political system so thoroughly corrupt, only revolution could save us from it. So now voices in the Chinese communist movement, referring to the rule of monarchy as a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie, they begun calling for it to be brought out of power by any means necessary. So we're going to go ahead and this would increase the chance of internal support for a communist coup, and this would be support for a communist uprising. I'm thinking we need to get support from the people. I want the people to be in favor of this government. I want them to be able to support it in every way that they can. We've got internal problems, as you can see here, which lowers our national unity, and it lowers our division recovery rate. And we've also got international pressure, which really affects our trade deals. So we want to get rid of that. So I'm going to select another technology to research. I think I'll go with construction. And maybe improved machine tools, or maybe concentrated industry. This would improve our factory output. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind getting some armored cars, and there we go. Italy declared war on the Ethiopians. Nothing we need to focus on, but let's get some support equipment. So support equipment will obviously improve our overall army. The Communist Revolutionary Movement, once a fringe popular among radical academics in theory and troublemakers in practice, has seen increased support from the Chinese working class. So we are getting support of communism over here. We can see that the communists are now 39% of the country, and this is definitely going to increase our overall support with the communists and their support for us to change the empire into a communist country. I'm hoping it's not going to cause us any problems with other countries who may not like what we're doing here, but we've got to do what we've got to do, and drifting towards communism seems to be the way to go. We need to get away from this monarchy. We need to get away from these pathetic political systems that don't do us any good, and we need to move towards the third path. Wait, no, that's fascism. I think so. We also have a few theorists here which could really improve our army experience gain. That's definitely something I want to look into. Right now we're not getting much army experience gain, and that's my fault. So I need to select all these guys. I need to start training them so that they're no longer just peasants who don't know how to fight, but actually have an ability to possibly wage a war one day here. Let's go ahead and get them training as well. And look at that 20 military experience. We can use that to improve our divisions, guys. Let's do the same here with these guys. And I'm actually going to jump in quickly here and get the Juntuan, give them another infantry. So increasing, I think, their attack power. We probably need to focus on even stronger things like mobile battalions, tank battalions, etc. For now, we'll just increase it with infantry, giving them just a little more manpower to make them that much stronger. And we've got another national focus to decide on. So this is interesting. Imagine if we could befriend India, a more diplomatic approach. It looks like that's out of our reach because all of the following must be true. So we have to be a monarchy, non-aligned. Emperor abstains from political involvement. Right now, he's not in that situation. But economical effort would add some infrastructure. Naval effort, army effort, aviation effort. Yeah, I think right now we should go ahead and go for the economical effort. So we're going to try to add some infrastructure to our crumbling economy. I think that's going to be helpful. And we also have a free civilian factory. We definitely want to build that. And let's drop it right here in Sichuan province. Interestingly enough, the province where my favorite Chinese food is made. I really do like extremely spicy food. So it's definitely one that I'm friendly with. So let's make those spicy soldiers from Sichuan province utterly crush the opposition here. The Spanish Civil War has begun, guys. What will this mean for Spain? And of course, if we were communists at this point, I would send some troops to assist. But it's simply not the case. And there we go. In an unexpected campaign, communist militia have attacked the government and buildings and captured the Chinese emperor. Although many bloody fights between communist rebels and governmental troops have occurred, rebels were able to gain power over the country. Soldiers desert to communist partisans. So some of these guys have deserted to communist partisans, but we are the communists in this case, so it works out just fine for us. And our armies are just as strong. The government idea to support communists has been removed because its prerequisites are no longer needed. And let's see, did we get Mao? Yes, we did. We've got Mao Zedong in power to lead the People's Republic of China to glory. I don't know if he can. I don't know how long it's going to last. But one thing's for sure, daily communism support is great. It's doing very, very well. And hopefully we can get rid of this taint of being a backwards nation by moving forward with Mao's plans. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and have an awesome, awesome day.